Hi, have you ever come across a scenario where you're talking to one of your old buddies on Telegram and you explain some skin rashes which you had recently, and your buddy actually recommends a very respectable dermatologist in your area? So, what you do is, you basically go to Google and it takes you an eternity to find that same dermatologist. But if I told you that you can actually text a simple assistant chatbot and it can do the same thing for you within a matter of seconds. Or let's just say you're talking to your wife on WhatsApp and you are planning a family trip to Disneyland in LA along with two of your kids, and your family or your wife is actually very worried about the expenses which are gonna be there, and she asks you to find or plan the itinerary to go there and what is the expenses per person which are going to be. So let's just say you text the same assistant and that same assistant fetches that information for you and saves all that information in some of sort of a Google document. Or even in another scenario, let's just say you are at your workplace and you are chatting to your colleague about a bug on Slack, and you then decide to meet at a specific time, and then you basically ask the same assistant to set up a meeting at a specific time. So without having to go to calendar, that same assistant can set it up for you. Now, if do you think that only Iron Man's Jarvis can do that, then you are plainly wrong here, because today I'm going to introduce another assistant chatbot which can be interfaced with multiple communication channels and can assist you in doing most of these things. Sounds interesting enough? Let's start. My name is Avas Naeem. I am an AI and ML consultant which helps businesses optimize their operations and update their existing business workflows with the help of AI. Today I'm going to introduce OpenClaw, which is an assistant chatbot which can help you do a myriad of the things. So inbuilt, it basically can help you clear your inbox, send emails, manage your calendar, check you in for flights, manage your itinerary, and you can do it from most of the communication platforms which you use. These could be WhatsApp, Telegram, or any other chat app which you have already used. It's one of the recent technologies which have modified how we see assistants and how we can basically chat with them. To get started, the best part is it's basically quick to get started with this chatbot. All you need to have is your personal PC, which I believe most of us have in this era, or a VPS. You can buy a VPS from any of the respectable hosting providers, and then you need to have an API for one of the LLM providers. It could be OpenAI, it could be Claude, it could be Grok. And all you need to do is to go to your personal machine, run this command, do some sort of an onboarding, and you are all set up with a Jarvis-like assistant who can assist you with myriad of the tasks or myriad of tasks, which you are doing on daily basis, but it's taking you a lot of time. You can save that time and consume it towards something productive. Some of the features of this Clawbot is that it basically runs on your own machine, right? So it could be a Mac, Windows, Linux machine, and it could be powered by Anthropic models, OpenAI, or any other or any of the local models. If you are really concerned about the privacy of your data, that's what it offers. Secondly, it helps you to interface with any chat app, which can be which is mostly used in today's world. So it could be WhatsApp, it could be Telegram, Discord, Slack, iMessage, it could be Spotify, it could be Twitter, it could be Google Chat, it could be Teams, you name it. So it basically helps you interface with all of them, and then you can just throw that message away which you have an idea in your mind, and then chatbot can do things for you. Thirdly, it has a persistent memory. So if you are doing some communication with this assistant chatbot, it will remember that thing, and it will help you gather that previous context and then answer your query accordingly. One of the very important things is it can has your browser control, right? So if you ask it anything which can be searched on the web, it needs to be powered with a Brave Search API or a Google Cloud API, and it can do many things for you. One of the very important things it has a full system access. So since it is installed on your local machine or any other virtual private server, what it has, it basically can read or write files, and it can basically have full access to your system, and it can execute commands as well. So that's where its power comes. And some of the things are built into this thing, and there are some things which are not built in, and you can basically upgrade the skills of this chatbot using some sort of custom skills which can be there. So if you go to Claw Hub AI, there can be many skills which are already built by the community members. You can use them from here, or you can even build your own. So before I move forward and show you some real applications of this chatbot and how I am assisting, how I am getting assisted with this chatbot, let me explain to you how does it work. So essentially, OpenClaw is a gateway which you can install on your local machine or any virtual private host, right? Then this gateway can be connected to a web control user interface, which can be used to control it. It can have a macOS application, it can have iOS or Android nodes, and then this gateway is connected to any other chat apps which are there. It could be WhatsApp, it could be Telegram, it could be Discord, it could be Slack, you name anything, right? So all you need to do, you need to have this gateway. And if you need to communicate out of your local network, you need to make sure that this gateway is accessible from anywhere. So this means wherever you are in the world, if this gateway is accessible from there, right, you can just throw a message, get a reply, and make your life easier. So before going into its applications, I would like to explain that you might have heard of some other agents which have come recently, such as NA10 or OpenAI agents. If you talk about OpenClaw, then OpenClaw is a sort of flexible chatbot, right? To design the agents in NA10 or OpenAI agents, you have to have a verified workflow, right? So thing A should come before thing B, and the thing B should come before the thing C, or tasks, right? So this is a dedicated workflow in which the agents operate, and each agent can do its tasks. In contrast, OpenClaw is basically flexible. You can ask it various things. It doesn't have a predefined flow. It can do various things for you, right? So that's the basic difference, and that's why if you have to design a dedicated production-based application in which there should be a dedicated flow of information, then NA10 or OpenAI agents could be a good option for you. But if you're looking to design a system in which you need to have a flexibility which can do many things, without having a guided direction, then OpenClaw is there for you. So once you have installed your gateway on any virtual private host or any local host, one thing which you would have access to is this dashboard. So it basically allows you to configure the settings of the OpenClaw, where you can configure some sort of communication channels, your models, what model of OpenAI or Anthropic or Grok you are going to use, and then there can be some usage statistics, how many tokens have you used or something like it, or better yet, you can just use it to simple chat. For example, I can just ask it, how I can ride a horse, right? So you see, it basically went there and it just returned me that information from there, right? Now, one thing which I would like to show you is its integration with WhatsApp. So let's just plan something, some sort of a family trip, which will have to go to Disneyland in LA from Austin. So let me just ask it, can you plan a trip from Austin to Disney LA? To Disneyland LA for a family of 4, including complete itinerary, for a period of 3 days. Let's just see, how it comes up with all this information. So now I have sent this text to chatbot, and it's going to gather information from the web, and then it's gonna come with me, So it has come up with all this information which is here, right? So now I'm going to show it. Can you tell me the expenses for this trip disaggregated by the individual, disaggregated by each individual? So now it's gonna use this previous context, and it's gonna tell me, what is that disaggregated information which I can use. So, now I have this information. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to ask it to write both of these things in a Google document and Google Sheet. Okay. Can you write the plan in a Google Sheet in a Google Doc and all the expenses per person in a Google Sheet. So let's see what it does. It should ideally go. It should access the Google Suite, which I have given it access to using one of the skills. It was not within the default settings of the Clawbot, but I have configured it, as an update to this thing. So this is one of the things which you can do using the Claw Hub, which I have shown you. So ideally, it should be writing all that plan in a Google document and all these expenses in a Google Sheet, and then it should share the links with me, which I can share with my wife, if I am discussing all of these things with her. Okay, so here you go. It has created a document. Here you see where it has written all of this information, all the itinerary, and it has also indicated all of the expenses per person in this sheet. How cool, right? And now I kind of want to ask it, can you make an invite of this trip into my calendar, so that I am sure of my free family time, right? So it can also arrange, so for the similar time, it can also arrange. So I basically asked it to set up a calendar invite for the next weekend, and it did so. So if I go to my calendar, I can see that it has basically formed this thing when I need to leave. So how interesting is this, right? So I just had a full-blown conversation, right? Now, if I would have done it manually, it would have taken me maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, but here it is. I have just planned a 4-member family trip to Disneyland LA in just 20 to 30 seconds. How interesting is that? Okay, now let's do a similar sort of thing with the Telegram in operation. Okay, so I am going to ask it, so can you, so I have already given it access to my email using an updated skill, and I'm going to ask it, can you search for top 10 emails containing titles of OpenAI? Let's see if it can do or not, right? So this is basically the same chatbot, but now it is being interfaced using Telegram. So now you see it basically pulled all of this information, and if I show you a similar sort of thing in my browser or my email, here you can see that it has eventually pulled up the similar sort of 10 emails, which I can filter down from my Gmail. So now it shows you the power of how it can do it. Now I can ask it, can you summarize the information coming from, so I have this very specific and simple filter which I have designed. I can ask it to, can you summarize all of the emails coming from this, and let's see what it does. Coming from email address this. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna go there, it's gonna look for all of the information which is coming from here, and then it's gonna summarize all of this information, right? So if you go here and look at my email address, sorry, here we go. So it has basically pulled all of this information in, and it has summarized all this information. Now if I just ask it, please write this information in a Google Doc. In a Google Doc named OpenAI emails. So now it's gonna go, it's gonna open a Google document, and then it's gonna share that Google link with you where it has written all of this information. It's a sort of a similar thing which we did with the WhatsApp. So now you see the power of this thing. Clawbot is, you can have it do many things which you would do manually, but it saves you hours, which you can productively use in any other task. So it has formed this document. If we go here, we see that all of this information is now present here. Now how cool is that, Right. So you saw the power of OpenClaw AI chatbot yourself, where it was able to interface with WhatsApp, it was able to interface with Telegram, and you can interface it with most of the chat applications which you have. All you need to do is one simple thing. Just have VPS, just install it, and you can do it for various things. You can have it, plan your itinerary. You can have it to basically book an appointment with your doctor. You can have it set up automatic replies for your clients or whatever, right? That's a really interesting thing which has been done, and I will be sharing much more information about the OpenClaw in my next videos. See you then. Thanks.